These are the shots from Liverpool fans at Aintree, maybe sensing that a 7th European Cup is escaping from their grasp. Hands already on heads. They trail Real Madrid by a goal to nil. Maybe also anxious faces because they are in touch with some fans who are in Paris at the Stade de France, who have been not just witness to but subject to the scenes that we have just described here on Sky Sports News. We'll return to fans not only at Aintree but also at the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu, where the Real Madrid fans are gathering to watch this on a big screen. Let's get back into the Sky Sports News studio. We are 2 minutes into 5 of time added on at the Stade de France. More changes made. Valverde has come on. Modric has come off, and he's been replaced by Dani Ceballos. I think another change as well. Terry Gibson was another Real Madrid change I saw there, or is that now Real Madrid done for the game and just trying to see it over the line?
No, Vinicius went off.
That was the one.
Rodrigo came on.
Okay.
Straight swap, if ever there was one.
This is Ancelotti just getting them to the final whistle.
Yeah, no, it's incredibly tense. And Liverpool are throwing everything they can at it. Real Madrid have got everybody back behind the ball. Fresh legs in Camavinga. Whilst Liverpool are pressing and pressurising, Real Madrid just now and then showed the quality to break out, and probably have been a little bit wasteful, I'd say, in 1 or 2 attacks where they probably could have stretched the lead.
Would never have happened under Terry Gibson or Jay Bothroyd's watch if you were on that pitch. Tell us about the chance that they just had that could have been 2.
Yeah, it was Ceballos. We talked about them third-man runs. Benzema's dropped deep, he's got turned. Ceballos has made that third-man run in. He's onside, by a few yards. And instead of going for goal, it is once again, he's tried to square it. I think, it's easier to have a shot himself, but he's tried to be unselfish, he's tried to play it, and in the end, there was a tackle and there was no chance at all. So, like Terry said, they've been very wasteful.
Really tense moments. You're looking at Marcelo, who is potentially playing his last game for Real Madrid. Rafa Nadal, a massive Madridista, who's looked more nervous than he does during a Grand Slam final. Terry Gibson, as we creep into the 4th minute, into the 5th minute of the 5 added on, just give us a sense, as we get towards full time, what does a 14th European Cup mean for Real Madrid coming 4 years after their last?
Oh, incredible. This is their 5th final in 8 years. And it's too soon to talk about the result, and there'll be less than a minute to go. So it's a fair assumption to make. They should hold on to the lead. But what have we seen so far in this year's Champions League, particularly with Real Madrid normally on the other end, the team with a comeback. But 14, it's incredible stats. Milan are second with 7. Real Madrid, if they win this, still a big if. 14 is incredible. If Ancelotti wins it, highest number of managers won it.
Yep.
And also the first time he's done the league and Champions League double in his career.
What about, we'll return it to once again, that not just able to pull off these great saves, reaction saves, spread eagling, every single save, but also do the dependable stuff. Yeah. Thibaut Courtois, the ball's into the box, he clasps them, he goes straight down to the ground, taking up the time. It's
that's great from him. He's coming out, he's commanding his area. He's about 6 foot, he's 6'6"-ish. And I think that's what you love as a defender. You want your goalkeeper to come off the line and command, and he's doing that. Real Madrid have been fantastic. I keep saying it.
It is all over.
It's over. They've won.
The full-time whistle has blown. Real Madrid have beaten Liverpool 1-0 at the Stade de France in Paris. The players off the bench invade the pitch and the celebrations begin. And we see Florentino Perez there in the director's box at France's National Stadium. And what an incredible accomplishment this is. To, as Terry says, have double the number of European Cups than any other. They have now 14 in this competition, and they have managed to win the Champions League against all expectations. Just think about the season they've had in this competition. They were beaten by Sheriff Tiraspol in the group in this season. They managed to come back from the dead against PSG thanks to a Karim Benzema hat-trick. They were 10 away from defeat against Chelsea and managed to pull it round. They were just 1 minute away from defeat against Manchester City, but scored both in the 90th and in stoppage time to somehow win it. And in this game, they have beaten Liverpool, who arguably, I think, Jay, were the favourites for this final when you think about it in terms of the form of the players, the quality of the players.
Definitely was a favourites, that's for sure. They started off really well, started off on the front foot, but it just seemed like they gassed at the end. Trent was, he seemed like he was out on his feet. There was a few players as well that seemed really tired. we talked about Madrid being an old team, an aging team, but they showed real determination, real fight. They showed great energy. And second half, it was all them really. Liverpool tried to press right at the end. They threw Van Dijk up. They had 4 forwards on the pitch, but they couldn't break through that resilient defence in Madrid.
It doesn't matter how bad Real Madrid are, they've always got a shout in this competition, haven't they, Terry? This is the thing that they've been written off, as Jay says, in terms of the age of the squad. There's been a little bit of freshening up of the squad, but not major reconstructive surgery here. How much does this add to the aura that Real Madrid have? And also, how does this triumph compare to the others of recent times? They did the three-peat 2016, 17, 18, when they really were the dominant team in Europe. Now they're back with this kind of display across the tournament.
Yeah, they've been such a long time since they last won a Champions League.
It's an age for them, though, isn't it?
It isn't for any other club. And you talk about them being underdogs. I think people who watch Real Madrid more than most people watch them in this country. I was a little bit put out by the fact that we were talking about Liverpool being huge favourites, Real Madrid being underdogs. Real Madrid are never underdogs. Modric hasn't been an underdog. I hate to say it, since he left Spurs.
That's right.
Yeah. Toni Kroos has never been an underdog. Benzema, Ancelotti, the list goes on. Looking at the list of winners, there's 5 now for a number of the players. You know, Alaba, that's his first with Real Madrid, but it's his 3rd in total. Ancelotti, 4. So why we don't learn? When it comes to a Champions League final, European final, we still keep banging on about the English club, the Premier League club, are going to be favourites. And you just can't afford to write off Real Madrid. They did the fundamentals well tonight, didn't they?
Yeah, 100%.
They defended well. Their goalkeeper was outstanding. They had a little bit of quality in attacking play. They carried a threat. They needed Courtois to have a blinder, which he did. And they just have this belief. I think when you compare it to the others, this is one of the most extraordinary because they have taken on PSG, trying to get in the right order, Chelsea, City, Liverpool. That's a hell of a route to a final to win a competition. And they've done it in an unfamiliar way with being solid,
Getting so excited I've dropped
resilient, and, doing the fundamentals right, which has led them to beating Liverpool.
Just briefly, you mentioned, Liverpool and certain players, they just sort of ran out of gas. They I think maybe ran out of ideas at times. It felt like, there was always a Real Madrid leg or knee or anything in the way. For them, it wasn't to be tonight. It's a domestic double, though, a domestic cup double, not a domestic and European treble. Is that a season of success for Liverpool?
I mean, we spoke about this earlier, me and Terry, and for me, I have to think this goes down as a bit of a failure, to be honest. For them potentially getting the quadruple, and I think a team like Liverpool at the start of the season want the league, want the Champions League. Getting the cups is a bonus, but I think that's what they set out to do. So for me, if I'm looking at it, and I think a lot of their fans will probably feel the same way, I have to think that it's turned out to be a bit of a disappointment for them.
Anticlimax, certainly, after.
Yeah, for sure. But as well, I was saying about Liverpool's energy and youth, but today you've seen the experience won the game.
Yeah.
Through the spine of their team, Courtois, then you got Alaba in defence, then you got Casemiro, Modric, Kroos, and you got Benzema up front, and then you've got the young players around them. They complement each other really well, and I think it was an experience today that got them the result.
Fantastic. More from both Jay and Terry after the break. But this is the scene at the Estadio Bernabeu. Look at those Real Madrid fans. They are absolutely loving what they've seen. They've lifted that famous old trophy for a 14th time. Plenty more on what this means for Liverpool going forward with our guests in the studio. Plenty more reaction to come. Thank you very much indeed. I'll speak to you in a couple of minutes.